Good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Men News. I am Precious Mzea. Sakaleji, the headlines. Central Statistics Office says Zambia only has 8 million eligible voters, contrary to the ECZ projected 9 million. Chief SHAKUMBILA says agriculture is key in unlocking the country's economic challenges. Voter registration centers close until further notice. In international news, hundreds of school pupils in Nigeria missing after raid. And in sports, Zambia under-20 settles for 4th position at the 2020 Men's COSAFA tournament after a 2-1 defeat at the hands of Angola. Details coming to you after this commercial. Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow. And now the news in detail. The Zambia Statistics Agency has clarified that the estimated voter population eligible for the 2021 general elections is actually just over 8.4 million and not 9 million as projected by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Zambia Statistics Agency Interim Statistician General Mlenga Msepa has actually admitted that there was limited engagement before the ECZ announced their intended target to register 9 million voters. Details in the following report.
Prior to the commencement of voters' registration exercise, there have been debates from different stakeholders concerning the voter eligibility population in the country, which saw the Electoral Commission of Zambia estimated to be 9 million. However, this afternoon, the Zambia Statistics Agency held a press briefing in which it cleared some error regarding the number of eligible voters in the country, as Zambia plans for the general elections set for August 2021, saying it is critical to understand the population in question.
Is to promote the understanding of these statistics. And it's our hope through this, and you colleagues as our partners, you take it out, and most people are listening, that is a number that must be used if at all we have to talk about a legally projected number.
The agency has clarified that the estimated voter population eligibility for the 2021 general elections is just over 8.4 million and not 9 million as the target indicated by the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
The agency has projected a total population of 17,885,422 people in 2020, and that's the starting point. In estimating the voting eligibility population, the agency has carried forward the eligibility population of 47% from the 2010 census results. This is on the assumption that the age structure does not change much between two census periods. In respect of the above, the 47% age structure was applied to all projected district populations and aggregated to come up with an estimate of eligible voters. And once you apply that for 7%, the agency comes up with an estimate of 8,414,839 eligible voters.
Miriam Kemba reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
All voter registration centers in Lusaka have been closed. On Saturday, the Electoral Commission of Zambia announced an extension of the exercise with the exact time frame to be announced on Tuesday this week. ECZ previously told Zambians that the system will automatically shut on the 12th of December 2020 when the voter registration exercise comes to an end. The Commission severally told the nation that it will not extend the exercise as it was confident of registering 9 million voters within 30 days. days. A check at various registration centers, among them Civic Center, Showgrounds and Kabwata Community Hall, revealed that no registration was taking place as the country awaits for Tuesday to be updated on the new time frame of extension given to the exercise. Some citizens, however, thought the announced voter extension meant that the process was continuing without centers being closed. Some eligible voters were seen still trooping to the registration centers but could only return as there was no one to attend to them. Meanwhile, Senior Chief Mukuni of the Tokalea-speaking people of Kazungula and Zimba district in the Southern Province has urged the Electoral Commission of Zambia not to only extend the voter registration period, but must revert to the old voter register. The chief says reasons given by ECZ Electoral Officer Patrick Shindano to get rid of the old register because there are over 1 million people dead is unconvincing and perplexing. He says if indeed ECZ had and still has the data indicating that 1 million voters on the old registers are dead, then it could have been more economical and helpful to the whole process if they simply eliminated them from the register, because the dead voters could have already been known to the Commission. Chief Mukuni has reminded the Commission that it did not have to take long queues and administrative glitches for the electoral board to realize that to register 9 million voters in 30 days was an impossible feat, because stakeholders and ordinary citizens who appeared to them has judition than the Commission foresaw their irrationality and told them to maintain the old register. The chief says ECZ as a body and Judge Isao Chulu and Mr. Patrick Shindano as officials of the Commission will be held responsible for the turmoil that their unilateral and lack of consultative framework will cause the nation an event the electoral outcome is distributed. This is according to a statement made available to Camnet News by the traditional leader. In other news, Chief SHAKUMBILA of the Sala-speaking people of Shubuyunji district in Central Province has urged Zambians to take agriculture serious as it remains the only economic drive to unlocking the country's economic challenge. The chief further encourages government to take practical steps in growing the sector. The traditional leader made the call at his farm when he went to monitor progress of both the cultivation and planting. Details in the following report.
In his limping state, Chief SHAKUMBILA of the Sala-speaking people of Shubuyunji district in the Central Province has decided to leave the comfort of his palace to supervise agricultural work at his farm. The chief, in the company of the Queen, have lately been spending most of their time at the farm, cultivating and planting a variety of agricultural produces to ensure that they contribute favorably to the country's food basket in the 2020-2021 farming season. The Royal Highness says agriculture is the only key sector in unlocking the country's economic challenges.
There is a need to know that agriculture, the only thing a human being can do on earth. They have to do the farming to avoid hunger. If you don't do farming, what are you going to be eating on earth? We survive because of agriculture.
According to the chief, sidelining agriculture is simply saying the country continues to bleed economically as he urges Zambians to take up the challenge of farming.
This is what builds the economy of every country on earth. Every citizen where there is farming activity in the world must participate. We encourage people in our chiefdom to do farming because that's the only survival. Actually, like this season now, rains came at a good time and everybody's busy. That's why you have found me here. I can't stay home. This is the work I rely on.
Other than maize farming, the chief has also invested heavily in cattle, boasting of over 3,000 heads of animals at his ranch. The chief and the Queen have separate fields, but they attend to all the farms with equal time and seriousness. The Queen's farm is about 100 hectares, which most of it is being utilized on farming. Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News in Shubuyunji district.
In other news, Still in agriculture, new Director Cooperative in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, SHAKUMBILA, has commended cooperative movement in Northwestern Province for the effort they are putting to invest in their business. Mr. Mungalaba has observed that the cooperative movement is also helping its members to invest in themselves, which defines the cooperative spirits and principles. The director was speaking after touring some cooperative societies in Solwezi and COSAFA districts. He further praised Kansanshi Mines PLC through Kansanshi Foundation for supporting the communities through its social cooperative responsibilities in the province. Mr. Mungalaba is in the province to check on the activities of the cooperative movement, focusing on market linkages and value chain development in the province. Details in the following report.
He is in the province to check on cooperative movement activities being undertaken under his department. This is Director Cooperatives in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, SHAKUMBILA. So far, he has toured some cooperative societies in Solwezi and Karumbira districts and is impressed with the development.
The cooperative movement in Northwestern Province has got a future. What I have observed, the kind of efforts they are making to help their members to invest in themselves is very impressive.
The director, who inspected Nsanshi Arts Jewelry and Kiafukuma Cooperative Green Charcoal project supported by Kansanshi Mine, is equally happy with the investment.
Helping people to change so that they can change their own lives is the best way to offer corporate social responsibility. What we saw at Kansanshi Mine is very impressive.
As far as sustainability is concerned, we've got one group of women that are sustainably assisting another group of women. We've trained 45,000 farmers, but there are 7,000 on our input support program. So it's similar to FISP. We don't give them, they still pay for all their inputs, but we subsidize it, and each year we reduce the subsidy.
Area Senior Cooperative Officer for Northwestern Province, Gordon Mutare, briefed the director at his office.
The province has slightly above 1,500 cooperatives, and a larger percentage is in the agrarian sector. But we have seen some remarkable transition to manufacturing, mining, and financial sectors. And notable ones to mention, we have a good number of cooperatives that are into silica and quartz mining.
He later paid the dedicated score on Provincial Agricultural Coordination Office.
In line with the diversification program, we thought the Camnet thought is that we should also include soybeans, looking at the way the soybean value chain has been developed, and I think it will give that advantage to the cooperative also venture into value addition in terms of soybeans. And also groundnuts have also come on board, and sorghum.
The director also toured Mumena and Matebo Agricultural Cooperative, which is contracted to supply horticultural products to chain stores in Solwezi and Karumbira districts. Mr. Mungalaba is expected to visit Kasempa, Mufumbwe, Mwinilunga and other districts with the focus of building on market linkages and value chain development in the province. Krivat Tuta, reporting in Northwestern Province.
Several fish stocks in Chalimbana Dam is reported to have died due to suspect water contamination. Sources close to the matter suspect that the contamination is emanating from Kingsland City construction site in Lusaka's Twin Palm area. Residents are also living in fear that the contamination may be harmful to their lives and animals. Camnet TV has since sent press queries to both the Zambia Environmental Management Agency ZAMBIA and the Water Resources Management Authority WAMA for comprehensive information on this matter. Among the concerned residents who have raised concerns and complaints over the dying fish as a result of water contamination are those from the Soli royal family. In February this year, Chalimbana Headwaters Conservation Trust and 9 traditional leaders of the Soli people sued Zambia Air Force Projects Limited and Kingsland City Investment for carrying out construction works on a forest reserve. Others also protested the construction of Kingsland City at the current site as it was a water aquifer for Lusaka.
We have received the reports that there's sewage or poison or contamination of the Chalimbana River emanating from somewhere around Zaftu down there, or this Zaf whatever. That this poison is getting into the river. People that have observed are saying that even fish is dying. But as you know, the river flows all the way to Chifenes in Commercial. And we are live informed, the establishment and the others, they've also checked and they are suspecting that indeed there's serious contamination of the Chalimbana River emanating from ZAF. So I think what we are trying to do now is to alert ZEMA, Zambia Environmental Management, and the WAMA, the Water Resources Management, and also Chongwe Public Health, that they must move in quickly and check out and test the water and see what's happening before the situation is, so that people are warned not to use that water. Now, Mr. Soko, this is exactly what we've been talking about all these 20, 30 years, that you cannot tamper with the source of a river. When you pour sewage, when you tamper with the source of a river, it means every contamination that goes on at the source of the river will go all the way and kill people downstream. This is exactly what we've been fearing, and it is now happening. The chickens are coming home to roost. But let WAMA, ZEMA, Public Health quickly move in and see what's happening.
The festive season is usually associated with illicit activities since time immemorial. High alcohol intake, illicit sex, drug abuse are some of the highly abused. All these acts, if not regulated, contribute to the rise in HIV and AIDS. It is for this reason that the Commuter magazine, through its team leader, Liswaniso Mwanalunshi, is urging Zambians to safeguard themselves during this festive season.
CID, we're extremely concerned about what we have heard from various social media reports online. We have come to learn that the former Vice President, as well as the MMD President, Dr. Neves Mumba, has been put under restriction in his hotel room in DRC. Now, as you may know, is that the MMD are a member of the ZCID board, and the MMD can be considered as the third largest opposition political party.
We sincerely apologize for the mix-up, but we retake the story. The festive season is usually associated with illicit activities since time immemorial. High alcohol intake, illicit sex, drug abuse are some of the highly abused. All these acts, if not well regulated, contribute to the rise in HIV and AIDS. It is for this reason that the Commuter magazine, through its team leader, Liswaniso Mwanalunshi, is urging Zambians to safeguard themselves during this festive season.
The fight against HIV is not yet over, as there are some people who still do not want to pay attention to this deadly but manageable disease. Available figures show that Zambia has about 1.2 million people living with HIV. The necessity to bring everyone up to speed with the need to take preventive measures against HIV and adhere to treatment cannot be overemphasized. The AIDS Health Foundation, AHF, together with other stakeholders, including the Commuter magazine and the Lusaka City Council, have been implementing an initiative to raise awareness on HIV and COVID-19 in bus stations in the capital city through activities such as testing and counseling services. Men have been known to shun HIV testing and counseling services, and John Chilufya, who now knows his HIV status, shared his perspective as to why men usually avoid knowing their status and what led to his change of attitude.
At that fear, but because of the counselors, there's that encouragement that give me. That's when I decided now I should go for counseling, and I've been tested. It comes for them to come for counseling and testing for HIV. There's that fear. There's that fear for them to test, knowing that maybe they will discover that they're HIV positive. But it is for their own good that when you test and you know your status, you'll be treated, you'll be on medication, and you begin to live a normal life. Rather, you are not tested and then you continue spreading the virus.
Lusaka City Council Assistant District AIDS Coordinator Advisor Chimego Hamoya tells Camnet News in an interview that the activities being implemented in various bus stations in the city will complement the goal by the Lusaka City Council to end HIV by 2030 in line with its fast-track action plan.
If we are going market by market, it means that we are also trying to kill two birds with one stone, because we are going in markets, we're going in different places trying to test people. Because initially the purpose of the fast track is to make sure that we have people getting tested and to make sure that we have zero infections of the spread of HIV.
The Commuter magazine team leader Liswaniso Mwanalushi has implored people to take precaution and stay safe during this festive season.
All other stakeholders involved in HIV prevention, other interventions, to scale up the testing and counseling services, because during this festive season, that's when we have so many people engaging in sexual activities. So we are happy that the response to this much from this bus station is good, and we hope come next year to take off from where we have left. We are encouraging other bus stations also to be sure that they mobilize their people to come forward and test, so that we reduce the scourge of HIV.
Knowing your HIV status means saving your life. So take that step and be part of the solution. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Zambia Center for Inter-Party Dialogue, ZCID, has called on the Zambian government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to intervene in the matter surrounding the detention of Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD President Nevers Mumba in the Democratic Republic of Congo. According to Dr. Mumba in a video statement, has told the nation that he has not been arrested, but only his movement has been restricted. But ZCID Board Chairman Jackson Silavwe has urged the Zambian government to engage the Republic of Congo to ensure that Dr. Mumba's safety in the country. Mr. Silavwe also urges government to provide the nation with the accurate status of his restriction to avoid unwarranted speculations. He has further advised Dr. Mumba to cooperate with the government of the Republic of Congo as they conduct their preliminary investigation of his visit to their country. There is currently political unrest in the DRC, where President Felix Tshisekedi's loyalists are engaged in confrontation with former President Joseph Kabila. Details in the following report.
CID, we're extremely concerned about what we have heard from various social media reports online. We have come to learn that the former vice president, as well as the MMD president, Dr. Nevers Mumba, has been put under restriction in his hotel room in DRC. Now, as you may know, is that the MMD are a member of the ZCID board. And the MMD can be considered as the third largest opposition political party in our country. And speaking as ZCID chairperson, we're extremely concerned of what is happening to Dr. Nevers Mumba. We are not privy to the details of his travel to the DRC, but this one thing we know is that Dr. Nevers Mumba is a Zambian. And because he's a Zambian and a high-profile Zambian, an opposition leader, the government must intervene to quell speculations that are ongoing at the moment. And especially that is a former vice president, the government must intervene through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and update the nation on what is happening exactly. Apart from that, I also want to call upon the government of the DRC to provide details why he has been placed under restriction. Zambia and the DRC have enjoyed warm relations, and they should not be put under strain. Zambia has been there for the DRC since time immemorial. We at the moment, Zambia is housing even refugees from the DRC. We have supported the DRC to the hilt. So really, suffice to say that we should not put those relations under strain.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We take our first set of commercials. We continue with the news on the other side. Stay tuned.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
You know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Welcome back. We continue with the main news. Kabushi constituency member of parliament, who is also Lusaka province minister Bowman Lusambo, has boasted that he is more grounded politically than opposition United Party for National Development president Hakainde Hichilema. Mr. Lusambo said this is why President Edgar Lungu is not panicking, as he knows that victory is certain come 2021. He says currently the president is only preoccupied with how to continue developing Zambia beyond 2021. Mr. Lusambo has further wondered why Zambians are still doubting that President Edgar Lungu will win the 2021 general elections when indications are out there for everyone to see. The Kabushi lawmaker said this when he donated bags of meal to some vulnerable communities in Ndola. Details in the following report.
Want people to continue celebrating. Come 2021, the reason why President Edgar Lungu is very relaxed, okay, very relaxed, and is just planning for how it's going to continue from 2021 going forward. It's because of the good policies. It's because the people of Zambia, they have accepted it. Okay, when you come to Kabushi constituency, you come to Ndola, you go to Masai, you go to Kongwe, to Fuanyama. The people, they have decided. They have decided. So when I say that we are going to win this election come 2021, I'm not lying. Okay, for those people who are saying, why Bowman saying this? I know I'm a politician. I am in this government and I've seen the good things His Excellency Edgar Lungu is doing to the people of Zambia. So when I say we are winning, definitely we are winning. How can we lose the election to Hakainde Hichilema? How? For God's sake, how? Can you lose football to an amateur? It's very unfortunate that people, when we talk, the people that want to say, why is he talking like this? We cannot lose football to an amateur. Okay? Man United versus ZAMBIA Stars. Can you say Man United will lose to ZAMBIA Stars? Those people who don't even have boots, they don't have even the motivation. But for us, we have a motivation, we have boots. The motivation is that we have delivered to the expectation of the people. We have constructed roads, we have changed Zambia. When you come to Lusaka, we have transformed Lusaka, we have transformed Copper Belt province. That's why we are here. Diversification is part of transformation. So for me, my friend Museng and the listeners, the viewers out there, we are going to win this election come May or sunshine. Edgar Chagwa Lungu is the next president for Zambia from 2021 going forward.
A Zambian entrepreneur and author Malama Katulwende has expressed sadness that Zambian politicians have continued to ride on the suffering of Zambian youths who are continuously promised heaven on earth during elections but abandoned just after that. Mr. Katulwende explains that the politicians have used youth to ascend to a position of authority but never fulfill any of the promises made to them. He has since urged those in authority to create an enabling entrepreneurship environment where youths can thrive in. Mr. Katulwende has however observed that lack of capital and high cost of venturing into a viable business is discouraging many youths from venturing into business. Mr. Katulwende said this in an interview with Camnet TV News in Lusaka. He reiterates that the government must know that it is not a business that it is offering to the people, but a service.
The West problems that politicians make in this country is to promise heaven and earth for everyone. That can't happen anywhere. So the minimum that the government could do is to create an enabling environment. Like for instance, they lower their taxes. The taxes in this country are very high, and I'm upset about that. And also the cost of doing business is very high. The regulatory environment is too expensive and cumbersome in most cases. But if they can work on that, then the rest is up for grabs for any youth or for anyone to create the future that they want. So we should not look so much on what the government must do for us. We should ask ourselves, what can I do for my government? What can I do for my country? That is the best question that every youth must do or must ask themselves. I know that usually politicians try to promise youth jobs that they can never fulfill. Because first of all, like the PF government or any government whatsoever, they are not a business. They are a service. They are a service to the population.
In other news, residents of Katondo and rural areas of Kabwe have expressed gratitude to the government for the infrastructure development taking place in the area. The residents indicate that no sooner the president visited Kabwe than the road rehabilitation works commenced. The residents are also elated with the ongoing construction of police posts and clinics within the two compounds. They state that such developments contribute positively to the developmental agenda of the country. The locals have meanwhile demanded for the immediate opening of a public toilet constructed at Kalukungu Market, but the council is reported to have abandoned the facility as it was proven not to be economically viable.
President wesu balungu paka babombele paku ilivaishire bali tuwamishe komsevo then bali bomba batuwamisha kuna kliniki muno mukatondo tule batotela pakalamba pampanchito bale bomba kali pano paka Kalukungu Market tule totela pali toilet obabo obaisa tukulira pano nomba tapali file bombe kana ngufimo pantu tabaisula so tulekabila ifo toilet yambi okubomba so tulekabila na ifo fwe bana market bapano paka Kalukungu ukuti tulefo buyantanshi pantu abanensu wose bale babombera batifo etapali file chitika pano paka Kalukungu tuli bana market etwa bana market abakosa nombo buyantanshi obo tulekabila kuli ba president wesu
ka advocate for national development and democracy mkwai twamfwa ukulila kwenu mwalondola bwino sana ife muleshingwa nafyo kutampila ukumuno kwebati toilet ya bakula ba kanso lero bafiro kwisula pamulandi bagwakutira tawale bona mu prophet so basha bayisala ichi chamfika takwa omuntu ngeka lokabula toilet no market tefe no kwako panta pali toilet echo twamfwa ukuyishanya kwenu na masu yonsaya twalamuno kwebati ichi pali tsoleka pali ifi chakwa tokumuno kwati bayisula mukwangu.
ZAMBIA Science and Technology Trust is impressed with the recently launched National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy. Trust Executive Director Veronica Mwaba notes that innovation is a key component that was missing in 1996 National Science and Technology Policy. She observes that the move reflects government's commitment to promoting science, technology and innovation to solve socio-economic challenges as stipulated in the 7th National Development Plan 7NDP. She notes that Zambia has not been spared from the devastating effects of climate change impact, high poverty levels and malnutrition among others, indicating that the COVID-19 pandemic is devastating humans and businesses have been disrupted. Mrs. Mwaba tells Camnet TV News that the COVID-19 has prompted countries to rely on local expertise to save lives under challenging circumstances. She has since emphasized that partnership between the media and scientists is crucial by way of sharing research findings meant for the public consumption without any delays.
Science and Technology Trust, DSAT, is pleased to congratulate Honorable Dr. Brian Mushimba, Minister of Higher Education and other key stakeholders on the successful launch of the National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy. It is impressive to note that the revised policy now incorporates major facets of innovation, a key component that was missing in the 1996 National Science and Technology Policy. In any case, the action shows government's commitment to promote science, technology, and innovation to solve socio-economic challenges as stipulated in the 7th National Development Plan. Today, Zambia has not been spared from the devastating effects of climate change impact, high poverty levels, and malnutrition, among others. Now it is the COVID-19 pandemic. It's devastating humans, and businesses have been disrupted. A lot of lessons have been learned. Countries in the world rely on local expertise to save lives under challenging circumstances. Media are a key partner to popularize science. They take stories to policymakers, society, and also give a feedback to researchers on the work they do. For example, scientists need a platform to share research findings meant for public consumption without any delays to counter fake news. Therefore, effective public and science engagement are critical in science promotion.
We'll take a break. Coming next is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Welcome back. Now in international news. Hundreds of students have feared missing after gunmen raided a secondary school in northwestern Nigeria. The attackers arrived on motorbikes and started shooting into the air, causing people to flee, witnesses said. They targeted the government science secondary school where more than 800 students are said to reside in Katsina State on Friday evening. On Saturday, the military said it had located the gunmen's hideout in a forest and exchanged gunfire with them. The outcome was unclear, but officials said there was no report of students being injured. Meanwhile, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari condemned the attacks and ordered the school to carry out a full audit of students to find out how many are missing. Parents who dashed to the school to take their children home were also asked to notify the school authorities. Here's a report by BBC.
School where that night 2 years ago Boko Haram militants stormed this compound, kidnapping hundreds of schoolgirls. It was an act that provoked international outrage and shone the spotlight on the Boko Haram insurgency. And we're just going to take a look at what remains of the school. Now, an eerie sense of loss. The skeletons of desks where the girls once sat. An overgrown basketball court where they once played. And it's silent. This was the dining hall. It would have been full of girls laughing, having fun, talking about the exam the next day, which they never took. Their parents wanted them to have a better life than they had. That's why they sent them to this school. But it was a choice that had devastating consequences. These piles of rubble are all that remain of the dormitories from where the girls were kidnapped that night by Boko Haram militants. In total, 276 girls were taken, and in the following week, dozens of them managed to escape. But more than 200 are still missing, and 2 years on, not a single one of them has managed to escape.
We now get into sports news. The Zambia Under-20 national team has settled for 4th position at the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship in South Africa after losing 2-1 to neighbours Angola. The team won their first 3 matches but went on to lose their semi-final clash against Mozambique and now the 3rd and 4th position. The team has also lost a chance of qualifying to the 2021 Mauritania Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Zambia Under-20 national team captain Prince Mumba has been crowned 2020 COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship Player of the Tournament and will travel to Spain, where he will have a chance of training with La Liga side Valerio. By broadcast time, the final between Mozambique and Namibia was still being played. Well, that sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV main news. But before we go, the headlines once again. Central Statistics Office says Zambia only has 8 million eligible voters, contrary to the ECZ'S projected 9 million. Chief SHAKUMBILA says agriculture is key in unlocking the country's economic challenges. Voter registration centers closed until further notice. In international news, hundreds of school pupils in Nigeria missing after raid. And in sports, Zambia Under-20 settled for 4th position at the 2020 Men's COSAFA tournament after 2-1 defeat at the hands of Angola. Well, the Camnet TV word verse of the day is coming from the book of Isaiah 9 verse 2, and it reads, "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. A light has dawned on those living in the land of darkness." Well, thank you for joining me. That is all. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Pleasant viewing.